You are live with Get Connected. Mike Agerbo here with John Beeler. We've got a really awesome show today, almost kind of retro in a bit, talking about retro technologies. In a bit, we'll be chatting with the Arcade 1-Up folks. If you dreamed of having a little arcade cabinet in your home, well, there's some affordable ones out there to play your favorite games like Pac-Man and Dig Dug and Galaga. Do you remember those?
I do.
They're so awesome. We'll also be talking about answering some of the questions in our mailbag, from how to scan in color slides to upgrading a Windows Vista computer.
Speaking of retro,
the worst Windows operating system ever. But let's get into the news, John. Some interesting stuff this week. You might not have heard of it, but there's a really popular big messaging platform for businesses called Slack. And it's kind of a combination of email and Messenger kind of crammed into the one. And we actually use it for our work. Mm-hmm. And it's been a godsend because it's basically taken, my inbox, which was literally, a couple hundred emails a day, down to like almost nothing. Because you set up channels in this Slack program. And so whatever projects you're working on or topics, they all have their own channel and people can go in there and just kind of message back and forth.
Yeah. And it works on all platforms.
It is awesome.
Yeah.
Actually founded by a local gentleman. You might have heard of him before. His name is Stuart Butterfield. He was also one of the founders of Flickr. Remember Flickr?
I do.
They sold to Yahoo. Mm-hmm. I think they sold too early.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it seems charming now that they got $25 million for Flickr.
Flickr was such a cool program, and I just wonder if it kept going with it, it might have been bigger than it is today. Because, everything that Yahoo bought dies. Yeah. But anyway, he did okay on this one. Slack was sold to Salesforce.com for how much? $27 billion.
27.7 billion.
It's not bad.
Which is why Flickr, that seems like that's like couch change.
It really is. But congratulations to the Slack folks and, of course, Mr. Butterfield as well. Nice guy. I met him a couple times. So great local Canadian story. Also in the news, John, and you're so excited about this, and I don't even know how this is possible. You like this tech company called Wise.
Yes.
They make cameras, little security cameras, and they're so cheap, but they're good.
Yeah, they were just really inexpensive. Like for Black Friday, they had like a 2-pack for $40 or something like that.
Yeah, how do you make that?
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, it's not like it's like garbage tech. It's actually really solid tech.
It's not bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they've come out with a smartwatch. So we talk a lot about wearables and smartwatches and Apple Watches, Fitbits, and they're not cheap. Like the latest Apple Watch, I've got the Apple Watch 6. Love it. It's amazing. It's like $600.
Yeah.
So how much is this new smartwatch from Wise?
$20.
How do you make a smartwatch for $20? We found one when we were in Hong Kong last year.
Yeah.
Which I get.
Well, I mean, the ones we found in Hong Kong, they were like knockoff Fitbits. So they weren't really a smartwatch. And we really don't know all the details about this Wise watch yet. So Wise watch,
I like it.
Yeah. So we know it can be done inexpensively, but this actually comes in a couple different options.
But tell the listeners what it can do.
Pretty much everything your Apple Watch can. The crazy thing is it actually integrates perfectly well with Google Fitness or Apple Fitness.
Yeah.
Or the Apple Health app.
Yeah.
So it has heart rate monitor, blood oxygen tracking. That was the big thing with the Apple Watch 6, right?
Yeah.
This is built in for a $20 US watch. So let's say $30 Canadian.
But it's hard to get them. You can only get it through the US website.
Well, it's a pre-order right now. They're not shipping until February.
Okay.
So you're not going to get it for Christmas. And at this point, they're only shipping within the US. But eventually, based on previous experience with their products, it'll be on Amazon up in Canada. And they might even start shipping across the border. But I mean, it's a 47 millimeter display. Like it's actually bigger than the Apple Watch. And it looks beautiful.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to our new contest happening. And again, we're always giving away lots of prizes through our website, GetConnectedMedia.com. You go to the newsletter tab, subscribe, and you're entered into the contest automatically. This month, it's a Christmas gift basket.
It is.
That's what I'm calling it. So it's a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah. You're not going to get it for Christmas, though, if you win.
No, it'll be because we run this right till the end of December.
Yeah.
This is a grab bag of all the stuff that we couldn't fit into like one kind of topic.
I think it's an interesting spectrum of prices.
Yes. So in this gift bag, Oral-B toothbrush. This thing's worth like $300. It's their IO Series 7 smart toothbrush. Tells you how to brush your teeth better. It's got pressure sensors and everything. Ancestry.ca DNA kit, so you can find out where you've come from.
And some of the there's a subscription service associated with that. I think we give you 6 months.
Oh, that service is really cool.
Yeah.
Like you can really track down some of your ancestors. Microsoft Surface earbuds and a Google Nest Mini. This package is worth hundreds of dollars. So if you want a chance to win this gift bag from Get Connected, go to GetConnectedMedia.com, hit the newsletter tab, and all the instructions are there. When we come back from the break, we're going to relive some of the glory days of Pac-Man and Galaga and so much more. Back after this. You are back with Get Connected. Mike and John here. If you listen to our show, you know we talk a lot about retro gaming, probably because of our age. We grew up in the golden age of gaming, Donkey Kong, Pac-Man, Space Invaders. Well, there are a few companies out there that are bringing that back. We've created our own arcade cabinets from, scratch and kits, but there are some that are pre-made and affordable as well. We're going to be talking with our friend David McIntosh. He's with Arcade 1-Up, a company that makes arcade cabinets preloaded with games, and all you have to do is set them up and they're good to go. Thanks for joining us, David.
Hey, thank you so much for having me, guys.
Your arcade cabinets, God, they can be found everywhere now. I think they're like at London Drugs. They're at The Brick.
Best Buy. And what I love about them is that they come preloaded with the games as well. And they're not like the full-size arcade cabinets. So I'd almost call them wife-friendly. They're a bit smaller, and they're not going to take up the entire living room, if you know what I mean. How long has Arcade One been around, David?
Yeah, they're what we call mid-sized or three-quarter scale.
Yeah.
Arcade 1-Up launched in October of 2018. It was just a passion project. The CEO had been in the toy industry for about 30 years. So he had been around the block, and he saw the future of consumer products shifting towards the gaming landscape. And then he did a bunch of research. He found that there was a bit of a white space in between, consumer retro products and then commercial grade retro products, like the arcade machines you guys probably remember growing up and playing with. And so he came up with this idea of a three-quarter scale mid-sized arcade machine. And it just blew up. They hit retail in 2018, October. I believe it was in US and Canada. Canada was a few months behind, so it may have been early 2019 when we were available at places like Walmart and stuff. But they quickly sold out. They understood that they were on top of a trend, and the product is now pretty much available worldwide, which is a crazy feat to do in just a 2-year time frame. So yeah, it's been around for just about 2.5 years, going on 3 years. And they just celebrated their 1 millionth arcade machine sold.
Wow.
And we're actually, it's a big number. And for reference, we're approaching 2 million because COVID has really just accelerated unit sales. Believe it or not, people are bolstering their entertainment centers. They're preparing for additional hours spent at home with the family. And in addition to the fact that we're almost at 2 million, we've actually eclipsed the total arcades sold in their own era. So in the 80s and 90s, there was about 1 million active machines in North America. And it's a crazy statistic. It actually, for me, it was a tough pill to swallow, but the difference is that they were coin operated and ours are free to play. So they grossed, billions of dollars without inflation, and we're not quite there yet.
What I love about Arcade 1-Up's cabinets is that they're kind of all ready to go. John and I have had experience, building these kits you can get on the internet, and they're great. But once you kind of add in everything from the screens to the arcade cabinet kit to the computer. Sometimes you get up to a couple $1,000s really, really quickly, where you guys have been able to get that price, I guess, more affordable.
Yeah, the U.S. price sounds a little more appetizing. It's like $300 to $400. Canadian conversion isn't so friendly. I think it's like $500 to $800, really depending on kind of what the model you're getting is. But the simplicity of just putting it together, the authentic artwork, which if you guys have built your own arcade machines, they don't typically come with all the licensed artwork and gameplay there. It's kind of like DIY, add your own artwork, add your own gameplay. It's not as authentic as kind of the originals, and that's what we're trying to capture with ours. So we've really tried to simple down the kind of DIY arcade process and make it a lot more affordable.
Tell us some of the game cabinets that you have right now, just to bring back some memories for our listeners.
Yeah, so we started off with Pac-Man, Galaga, Rampage, Asteroids, and Street Fighter. That was like our launching roster. And since October of 2018, we've launched about 15 to 20 different titles, anywhere from Miss Pac-Man, Golden Tee, Golden Axe, Burger Time, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you name it. Every single classic retro arcade, 9 out of 10 at least, we own the rights to and are either making them or in the process of making them.
You guys also have the cocktail table arcade cabinets as well.
Yeah, we actually have a huge variety now. We started off with the 4-foot, like mid-size, kind of 3/4 scale category. We quickly expanded into the pub table, like the head-to-head, which is what you're describing, where you can sit across from somebody, replicating that tabletop experience, if you will. And then we also launched Countertop Arcades, which are a lot smaller in form factor. It's still the same joystick button configuration of all the traditional machines, but in a lot smaller of a kind of desk, like a bar top kind of experience. And we also just launched the Partycade, which is a wall mountable arcade machine. It kind of looks like a picture frame with the joystick and button setup that pops out of it. And it really brings the whole experience to life, but in somewhere like a Toronto style condo, it's not too invasive.
I love those wall mountable ones. I'm looking forward to checking one of those out. But you get that arcade cabinet, but it's I guess, like you said, condo friendly. You don't have this big cabinet in there. You can just basically mount it to the wall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a picture frame. I had a hard time getting a few machines in here. Just, as you mentioned, it wasn't as wife friendly as I had hoped. In this case, my girlfriend wasn't a fan of the aesthetic, the retro theme that we had. So it's currently in the closet right behind me. I pull it out when we have to do some tests and when my buddies want to play online.
Yeah.
But the wall mounts are going to start to appear throughout the living space.
Tell us about this. You've got a Kickstarter program going right now as well.
Yeah, we just so outside of the retro gaming category, we just expanded our offering into the digital board game landscape. So, just like Google has the Nest and Facebook has the Portal, Amazon has Alexa, Arcade 1UP just launched its very first smart home device, which is called the Infinity Game Table. And it houses all of your favorite board games like Monopoly, Scrabble, Battleship, Sorry, you name it, this table has it. In addition to all the licensed content, it also has tens of thousands of activities like coloring books, puzzles, access to comic book libraries. So it's a really innovative smart home device, if you will.
This is a great gaming machine for the whole family. Like, you don't have to be into Pac-Man or anything like that. If you're into Monopoly and Life, those old traditional board games, everyone can get behind that.
Yeah, it really took us by storm because we went to the Kickstarter community, as you had mentioned, just to gauge interest in the board game fandom, because that's really where they all live. Every board game enthusiast checks Kickstarter out for what's new, what's trending, what can I get behind? And so we sent out a feeler in that community. And in fact, out of the 500,000 Kickstarters that have launched, we are the 496th to ever hit the 1 million marker. And we did so in less than 25 days. So it was a huge accolade for the brand. We understood we struck a nerve with the item. We know there's a huge demand for something like this. And what's really unique to the digital board game experience, which you can't get anywhere else, is that we've redeveloped all the games for an around the table experience. So if you were playing Monopoly, say on your iPad, it's a face down view. So you'll be seeing what's specific to your gameplay. Whereas on our table, if there's 6 people sitting around the table, each user has a different experience than the person sitting beside them, because when it's their turn, the table shifts and focuses on what that person should be experiencing. So it's a totally revolutionary experience.
And I think that's why you were so popular with Kickstarter, is because the notion of the family game night is really coming back with, traditional paper-based board games, and then having a table like this that you can just sort of basically have it spin around and do all the things that you wish you could do with the digital equivalents, but now you can with this table that when you're playing Monopoly, you're not going to spin the board around to the other side.
No,
but at least this gives you the ability to be able to see what's going on from your perspective properly without having to be, like you said, the face down in a device situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this is a great gaming system for families. Like, it just mimics that old style board game play, but like for today, essentially. And I guess you can keep updating the games on that as well.
Yeah, so it's Wi-Fi enabled. This is a huge feature that we spent a lot of time and resources developing. So say I, shipped you guys a table because I want it to be featured on your next radio podcast, and I had one in my living room. We could set up a game night where, it's your turn on Monopoly, but I'm viewing it, and we could play together. We can, I take a turn, you take a turn, and then, oh, you know what? We ran out of time for dinner. Let's pause the game, turn off our devices. We could pick it up tomorrow. And it's, so you get a never before seen online around the table experience, up to 6 players. And because of the Wi-Fi enabled features, you're then able to update the machine in real time. So if, say, we launched with just the 85th anniversary edition of Monopoly, but say down the road we secure a licensed version of Monopoly, like Fortnite's a popular version, Monopoly, Minecraft. I think they did a Game of Thrones Monopoly. So the possibilities are endless through updates.
We're talking with David McIntosh. He is with Arcade 1Up, a company that makes awesome arcade machines for your home. They're all kind of ready to go. You just got to set them up out of the package, but they've got all the games loaded on, depending what version you buy. Where can people find out more information, David?
Arcade1up.com. All the information you're looking for in terms of availability, retailers, price points, all on our website.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
When we come back from the break, more tech to talk here on Get Connected. Stay tuned. You're back with Get Connected. Mike and John here. Don't forget to hit our website, giving away an awesome Christmas gift bag full of tech goodness. Everything from an Oral-B IO Series 7 smart toothbrush, a Google Nest Mini, some Microsoft Surface earbuds, and I'm forgetting something. Oh, a DNA kit from Ancestry.
Mm-hmm.
This is all kinds of cool.
It is. It's probably one of our biggest gift prizes yet.
Yeah. I want to win this. Anyway, I can't, but you can. Go to getconnectedmedia.com and go to the newsletter tab, and all the instructions are there. Time to open up the listener mailbag, or the inbox. We've got some great questions, and we'll just get right into it. We've got one from Kobe. It says, hey guys, I've got color slides going back to the 70s. I have always checked them out on slide viewers, or on occasion if someone had a slide projector. That's what I would use. Is there a magic machine that'll enable me to view and save my pictures on my laptop? Thanks, Kobe. Well, there's a few options there.
Yeah, I mean, the simplest and cheapest is just using your smartphone.
I didn't know this, but apparently there is a slide scanner app. I don't know how good the quality will be on this. You'll have to try. I think you can try for free. Mm-hmm. It's for your iPhone, and it's called Slide Scan, the Slide Scanner app.
Yeah, and I think you can even just literally take photos of your slides. Typically they're reversed, they're negatives, and then in something like Photoshop or some other app on your phone or on your desktop, you just sort of invert those colors and everything will look fine. So it'll be as good as your camera is on your smartphone. But the other option is just to use a regular scanner. They still make them, and you can get, depending on the particular, maybe all-in-one printer or a dedicated scanner, you can actually get one that will specifically have a little tray that you put your slides into, and then it'll make it really easy to doing that. And you plug it into your computer, or in some cases, depending on the scanner, it might even have like a USB port for you to scan your slides right into that.
Yeah. And, if you've got lots, there's also dedicated slide scanners out there. Kodak makes them. Plus Tech is another company that makes dedicated slide scanners if you want like the highest quality.
Yeah. And I think a lot of the photo places will still take that. So you can take it to Walmart or London Drugs or those kind of places.
I think Costco as well.
Yeah. And they'll probably be the highest quality scans because they have like the really expensive scanners.
Exactly.
And they'll give you like a DVD or maybe even put it online for you to download.
Try the app out. Again, that app is called Scan Slide or Slide Scan, sorry. Yep. And it's gotten pretty decent reviews. Mm-hmm. Some people say it's really good. Some are saying it's okay. But you got nothing to lose.
Yeah, for free. And that I have seen some other dedicated slide scanning apps that sometimes they even come with, or they have like a printable template that you cut out in cardboard to hold your phone a certain distance away from the slide so it's properly aligned.
Yeah.
So,
okay, let's move on to the next question. We're taking our viewer questions from our mailbag here on Get Connected. This one's from Barb. She says, I'm looking at upgrading our Windows Vista desktop computer. Yes, you heard that right. Wow, that is an old computer. That was like the worst version of Windows as well. Although Windows Millennium Edition was not that great either.
Yeah, that whole era was pretty bad. But yeah, I'm impressed that it's still running.
She goes on and says, I take a lot of photos, so need to have a system for organizing photos and have documents saved on Word and Adobe. Thinking going to a laptop. What do you recommend? We do a lot of traveling as well in non-COVID time. Should we be taking an iPad? Love your show. Yeah, an iPad can do it, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to replace a desktop computer or a laptop, but it's getting pretty close. You can get Adobe Photoshop. Adobe has a whole bunch of different apps available just for iPads now, and they actually sync up in the cloud with everything. So you can store your photos with Adobe, or you can use your iCloud photos. It just really depends on, when you say you take a lot of photos, so do I. Like Mike and I both have like tens of thousands of photos just on our iPhones.
Yeah.
So the cloud can handle all that. It just depends on what you want to do with it. If you need to be able to print it and that kind of thing, that you can do that from an iPad, you can do that from a desktop, you can do that from a laptop.
I like the iPad idea, especially if you're traveling. If you get one of the iPad Pros or the new iPad, is it Air?
The Air, yeah.
Yeah. So that one, is that around $700?
The Air is closer to $8.
Yeah. But so you'll need to, it's not just $8. You'll need to buy the keyboard. You'll want the keyboard, of course. You might even want the pencil.
Yeah.
But the nice thing is you can actually use a mouse on iPads now.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of people know that, but that would be great if you wanted to do any basic photo editing.
I think you could even do some pretty advanced editing on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
not just basic stuff.
Yeah, you're right. And yeah, you can bring all of your photos into the iPad. They've got little adapters that'll let you put your SD card into it and store it on there. And to your point, iCloud storage, you can store tens of thousands of photos.
Yeah, and she also mentioned having Word documents and things like that. You can do all that on an iPad as well.
Yeah, the nice thing is just super portable, right?
Yeah,
and pretty versatile and fast.
Yes.
And super fast.
It's going to make your Windows Vista 7 feel like a relic.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, let's move on to the next question from Simon. Have you ever reviewed Apple Pay? I couldn't find it in the search results. Do any of you use it? I use it every day.
Every day.
It's on my iPhone. It's on my Apple Watch, and it is awesome. So I don't have to pull anything out of my wallet, especially for anything under $100. Just kind of tap it.
Well, in a lot of places, because of COVID, they've even expanded the amount that you can pay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't.
A few places are like $200, $300 now.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. The really cool thing about Apple Pay, and to be fair, Samsung has something called Samsung Pay as well.
Yeah.
You're not actually using your credit card number at that place of purchase. You're using a temporary card number.
Yeah. That
is an agreement between Apple Pay, Apple, and your credit card company. So you're giving a temporary one-use only credit card number for that transaction.
So it's safer.
It's way safer
Yeah.
than using an actual card.
Yeah. So everyone's always like concerned about the safety. It is safer to use Apple Pay than using a real card.
Yeah, because your real card's fully protected by your bank.
Yeah.
Apple doesn't even actually have that information.
We're going to have to take a break. When we come back, we're going to be talking with our good friend Ted Kritsonis, our Toronto contributor, about multiple monitors, how you can hook up 2 or more monitors to your laptop. Back after this. You're back with Get Connected. Mike and John here. We're talking monitors now. We all use them. We sit in front of them all day, in many cases, for our work, whether that's on our laptop screen or desktop computer. But what about multiple monitors? I don't think everyone has really gotten into that, but they offer a lot of advantages. To help us unravel this, we've got our good friend Ted Kritsonis, our Toronto contributor for Get Connected. Thanks for joining us, Ted.
Pleasure to be with you guys.
You've written a great article for the website, again, getconnectedmedia.com, just on how to use multiple monitors, why they're good. Maybe we should start there, Ted. A lot of people sit hunched over their little laptop screen, looking at anywhere from a 12 to a 15-inch screen when it could be so much better.
Oh, it could, and your body will thank you for it. Trust me. So, as someone who has worked on a laptop for many years, I've had a couple of injuries as a result of bad posture related to working on a laptop. And really, it was this year that I finally realized, you know what? Actually, having 2 monitors is better than one. I have a desktop computer at my desk, but I was using the laptop as as the other screen when really I should have been using another monitor. But it occurred to me that this year, with so many people forcefully working from home because of the pandemic, that they kind of had to adjust to how to work in a different workspace. Perhaps at work they were using multiple monitors, but maybe not so much at home. And so I thought, I think it'd be a good thing to point out that this is the better way to go for a number of reasons, not just ergonomics or posture, but also because productivity is generally better when you have more screen real estate to work with. That's just my opinion, but I think most people would probably agree with that. So, but there was another caveat to this. Now, we know that Apple just launched their M1 processor Macs, right? Those Macs cannot handle more than one external display.
I did not know that, Ted.
Yes. So the Intel-based Macs can. John and I have talked about this off camera before, where he has 2 monitors connected to his Mac laptop. It's an Intel-based one, but the M1 ones cannot. And so this now creates a problem if you're interested in that Mac. But there is a solution, and that is to use a hub or a dock, which would ultimately route all the connections through the hub or dock to the laptop, that way you can have 2 monitors and not have to worry about any kind of compatibility.
So even if your laptop, like these new Apple Mac laptops, the Pro and the MacBook Air, even though they can only handle one monitor, if you get an external dock, you can hook up 2?
Correct. Yes. So if you have a hub or a dock, that is actually what is handling the 2 screens, right? So, and then you're just connecting one cable to the laptop in that case. And because all the legwork is being done in the hub or dock, and then that way everything routes through to the computer, and at that point the compatibility is not so much an issue, because it's not the laptop that's running the screens. It's connected to them, but it's not running them, and that's a big distinction that we have to make here, because the M1 Macs cannot run 2 external monitors.
And what does that mean, run?
So basically what it means is that, okay, if you connect an external monitor directly to a laptop, right, that monitor is either it's an extension of that laptop screen, or it's mirroring it. You're just mirroring one to the other.
Yep.
Okay. But the signal is going from the laptop to the monitor.
Yes.
Right. So all the computer's GPU, the CPU, all that stuff is involved in making that happen. Now, if you have help, in the case of a hub or a dock that has the components inside that can run these monitors for it, then the laptop doesn't have to do the heavy lifting. It can connect them. You can still use them the same way. You can extend your monitor. You can mirror it. No problem. But the laptop is not doing it. It's not really expending any power in order to do it. If that makes sense.
And what docks would you recommend? I know Belkin, they make some, don't they?
They do. Yeah, Belkin's been doing them for years. And one thing I noted in the article that I wrote is that even if you have one that's a little bit older, so the ports maybe are not, it doesn't have USB-C, for example, you still can make use of those using adapters. So if you use adapters or adapter like cables, like for example, let's say the hub has a Thunderbolt 2 dock or a 2-port, Thunderbolt 2 port. Some previous Macs use that port. You can find a Thunderbolt 2 cable to USB-C if you need to. Those are out there. There are adapters as well. So you don't necessarily have to buy the newest dock to make this work. If you already have one, you can make it. You can still work with it as long as you get some adapters.
And these docks aren't cheap.
No, no. And I noted that. And I noted that in the article too, because I said, when you're creating a setup like this with multiple monitors, you got to think about the keyboard, the mouse, the dock, the hub. I mean, it adds up. Like, this is not a cheap proposition that we're talking about. I get that. But in the long run, it makes a lot of sense. So you almost look at it like an investment in both your own productivity, your own health, and hopefully you like it so much that you realize, like, oh, you know what? I'm glad I did this, even though it cost me some money. It ended up working out really well for me.
One thing I like about using the dock, though, is when I have to pack up everything to bring it to Mike's house so we can record the radio show, for example, I can leave it all hooked up and all ready to go. I go back to my house with my laptop. I just plug in one cord and everything is there.
That is the beauty part of it.
Yeah.
So Ted, I just need to ask. So, we talked a little bit about these new Macs. They can only handle one at a time, one monitor at a time, unless you get a dock. But there's a lot of laptops that can handle multiple monitors just through the laptop itself. What should people look for to see that capability?
In terms of what? Like, in terms of seeing the capability of using multiple monitors?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, look into whether or not the laptop can do it, first of all, because this is not just an Apple Mac issue. Like, there are some Windows laptops that have this limitation as well. But it's just distinct in this particular case because these are the newest Macs, right? But yeah, look to see if the laptop can handle more than one screen on its own. But at least know that if it can't, you have recourse by going with a hub or a dock that certainly can.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're designed for. So and even if you're looking for a hub or a dock, make sure that it has the requisite ports in order to do it too. So maybe you need an HDMI, maybe you need DisplayPort, whatever it is that you want to connect the monitor to, make sure that the hub or dock has those things.
We're talking with Ted Kritsonis all about hooking up multiple monitors to your computer or laptop. He's written an excellent article that goes in depth on what to look for on our website, GetConnectedMedia.com. You really should check it out. If you haven't got an external monitor for your laptop, you need to get one. We're all working from home, and if you're hunched over a little 13-inch screen, you're crazy. Like the external monitor, they're not that expensive, and like a couple $100. And
I got a 32-inch monitor.
Yeah,
for like $200.
Yeah, like it's worth your back. You know what I mean? Like, if you and Ted, you're a tall guy, right? I can only imagine you hunched over that little laptop screen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I have a right shoulder issue because of the trackpad.
Yeah.
On the laptop, right? Like, just the positioning of the arm. You don't think about it, but this is one of those things. Like, it's cumulative. It creeps up on you.
Again, check out Ted's article on our website, GetConnectedMedia.com. When we come back from the break, more tech to talk here on Get Connected. Stay tuned. You're back with Get Connected. Mike and John here. If you haven't had a chance, go to our website. Great stuff is happening there. GetConnectedMedia.com. We've got lots of great articles, podcasts, videos, kind of first looks, how-tos, Christmas gift guides.
Yeah, we just shot a whole bunch of video for all of our Christmas gift guides from across a number of different categories, not just one thing. And some of it's pretty nerdy, some of it's pretty fun. Yeah.
So if you've been wanting to figure out what to get for someone, we've got some great ideas for you. Again, GetConnectedMedia.com. It's also the place for our contest. Great Christmas gift bag this month, giving away all sorts of things. And this is all in one bundle. It's an Oral-B IO Series 7 smart toothbrush. This thing is cool. It's got like a little screen. It can tell you how to brush your teeth better. It knows how hard or how soft you're brushing your teeth to make sure that you're not wrecking your gums. It is amazing. Do you remember just in the old days, we just had like a toothbrush?
I still just have a toothbrush.
Yeah. And sorry, this one's an electric one too. So yeah, you don't have to actually move your hand like a sucker. You know what I mean? Like up and down. It does that for you. Also giving away an Ancestry DNA kit. Find out where you've come from. Microsoft Surface earbuds. These things are amazing. And a Google Nest Mini. What a deal. I want to thank everyone that helps put the show together, including John, my co-host and producer, and of course, Christina back at the studio. We'll see you again next time.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube page. And you know that little bell icon? Hit that and you'll be notified every time we post a new video. And comment. The more comments and the more likes and subscriptions we get, the more videos we can make.